and welcome to this very special edition. We're calling it Cash 22, the House on fire, given the ongoing crisis within Parliament on the government's crackdown on black money, if you look at it from the Treasury benches, and of course the cash crunch and the cash chaos if you were a member of the opposition party. 6 days of the winter session have been washed out, the Parliament has been stalled, and there seems to be no solution in sight just yet. The opposition adamant on the Prime Minister's statement, the Treasury benches agreeing to a debate but without the Prime Minister. What is at stake is crucial legislation, and we're joined by three very special guests who join us right here in ET Now. Representing the government and the Bharatiya Janata Party is Mr. Bhupendra Yadav, the BJP's MP in the Rajya Sabha. We've got Rajeev Chandrashekhar, somebody who understands finance and economy and is also a parliamentarian, and Ajoy Kumar, National Spokesperson of the Congress Party. Thanks each one of you for being with us. Mr. Bhupendra Yadav, since you represent the Treasury benches, it's only fair we begin with you and ask you the question, where are things in Parliament today? The opposition wants a debate under a particular section. They want voting on this. You're not agreeing to that. They want the Prime Minister's statement. Again, that's something that the government is not agreeing to. Where are things as we stand? 6th day of the winter session, and it seems to be heading to a washout as well.
This demand of the debate was raised by the opposition. Even the notice was given by the opposition when the Parliament was started on 16th. And immediately government agreed upon that. And government agreed and ready to start a discussion, and discussion was started. And the whole day on 16th we saw that the discussion was held in the Rajya Sabha. Then it is upon the opposition. Why they are not continue with their discussion? What is the problem with them? So it is a completely the mass, or it is a completely disturbance created by the opposition, not by the government. Government initially, when the 16th it was proposed by the opposition, government was agree. Even today government is agree. So it is upon the opposition. They must clarify why they are not they are escaping, and why they are not allow a debate in the Parliament. Because complete Parliament proceeding is disturbed by the opposition, not by the government. Government is ready. Whenever they want, government is ready.
Indeed, the government is ready, and do we have a line going with Ajoy Kumar? If we do, then I would like to take this across to him and throw that question at Ajoy Kumar. Okay, we will be joined by him in just a moment from now. Some technical glitches with that line there. But Rajeev Chandrashekhar, my question to you is more big picture. You know, the point that Bhupendra Yadav makes, and he's making a valid point here, if you look at it from the government's point of view, that the debate started. Why is the goalpost now changing? The opposition now wants the Prime Minister to make a statement. They now want a voting on this matter. But I think they've insisted upon that from day one. Who would you blame at this stage? The Parliament is held hostage. Who would you blame? Is the government unrelenting on this? Because the demand is that since the Prime Minister went out there and made the grand announcement, it's only fair he now comes and makes another statement on the floor of the House.
No, Supriya, I completely agree with Bhupen, because I was in the Business Advisory Committee on the first day of Parliament. The opposition vehemently demanded a debate and a discussion on the motion that they were introducing, and the government, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and the Business Advisory Committee, in the presence of the chairman, said they are prepared to do so. And remember, the debate commenced. The Congress initiated the discussion on demonetisation. Mr. Anand Sharma initiated the debate. The debate went on the full day. Many speakers spoke, including Sitaram Yechuri of the left. There were people from the Treasury who spoke. And for some inexplicable reason, on the next day, the entire situation changed. For reasons that still escape me as somebody who's neither in the BJP nor in the Congress. What was the reason for them to move the topic away from a discussion on a debate that they asked for to seeking the presence of the Prime Minister? And I'll explain to you my perspective of why this is so wrong. The Prime Minister of India is not the Finance Minister. The Prime Minister of India is not the Railway Minister. The Prime Minister of India is not the Defence Minister. Each of those ministers have an obligation to come to Parliament and explain the functioning or the issues that are raised of their ministry by the members of Parliament. I mean, by the argument that the Congress is saying, for the the tragic railway accident 2 days ago, the Prime Minister must come to Parliament. For the cross-border firing and the death of a soldier yesterday, the Prime Minister must come to Parliament. That is just completely, it doesn't make any sense. And I have come to the conclusion that this is really a process of the debate running away from what the opposition intended the debate to do, which is try and embarrass the government. And so when that was not happening, they moved away into a new set of issues. Now, this is my personal view, and I'm not particularly backing this with evidence, but that is all that one can surmise from where the Parliament is today, because the debate remains incomplete, a debate that the opposition started.
Hold your thoughts there, because Ajoy Kumar is now on air with us. And Ajoy, I want to throw this to you. Bhupendra Yadav started off by saying that the debate started. You shifted the goalpost. Rajeev Chandrashekhar is making the same point that for some inexplicable reason, we do not know why the debate got aborted, and the opposition now wants the Prime Minister to come in. I have a bone to pick with Rajeev there, and I am going to ask him that question a little later in the show about why should the Prime Minister not come in. But the larger question is, why is the Congress party running away from a debate? Can Parliament be held hostage on an issue like this? Why not at least bring the debate to its logical conclusion? Why are you not willing to talk?
You know, I was hearing Rajeev say that, and I find it very, very specious for the simple fact that in the previous Lok Sabha, I still remember very clearly that when the issues which were being addressed, Mr. Manmohan Singh was on major issues were asked by the opposition, and the opposition, whenever they used to raise those issues, there was a bit of a tug of war, and then Mr. Manmohan Singh did address it. So to say that the Prime Minister will not speak on any issue, then why is he the Prime Minister? Why did he go on the TV channel and 8:30 p.m. and make that announcement? Either the Finance Minister should have done it or the RBI Governor should have done it if it's a monetary policy. So that issue itself is, I think, flawed with a lot of what you call wrong reasoning, for a lack of better words. The simple issue is that this government is, I like it or not, been identified as the Modi government. This government, Mr. Modi takes all the issues, surgical strike, the results of the surgical strike, which has led to later chaos, is also his responsibility. So you can't say that, look, I want to have all the bouquets and I'm not going to face the brickbats. You need to explain. And the opposition is right. The Prime Minister drove this. He said it was his initiative. He wants to drive it. And the opposition has got a great deal of concern. And the fundamental issue is that the reports which come in, which says very unflatteringly that a lot of senior civil servants, because look, at the end of the day, has any country apart from Zimbabwe or Libya seen such pathetic preparation? 86% of the money being sucked out, the economy and euro, I mean, all the financial newspapers are saying that L&T has, cut down 17,000 people workforce today. The Britannia turnover sales have come down by 30%. It's going to have a domino effect across all industries. So is the Prime Minister responsible for maybe pushing us into a very, very dangerous situation? Yes. Should he answer it? Yes, he must answer it. And there is not one. There are millions of precedents where the opposition demanded the Prime Minister's presence in previous governments, and the Prime Ministers have come and addressed it. And you get the sense of the House. So the Prime Minister is not a superman, right? He must answer the questions raised by the opposition. And to be honest with you, the simple reason is that Mr. Modi is running away from a debate. He has to be present, he has to listen, and they will continue to do their surveys saying 97% of the people are in supporting this move and everything else. What we are very concerned is how it's going to pan out. And irrespective of what people say, it's going to be hugely, and we pray that it is not right, but it is going to be hugely disastrous for the economy, jobs, the farmer distress, the youth distress. And that's what we really pray it doesn't happen. And the government is compounded by their absolute shambolic preparation. Is Mr. Modi responsible for it? Yes, 70 people have died. And I'll finish off saying 70 people plus have died, standing on a queue. Have you ever heard, even the worst third world country in the world, having 70 people die, waiting for their own money to withdraw? It has brought India into the hall of shame, and the Prime Minister is silent.
Just hang in there, because this is also a clean-up drive. You cannot doubt the intention. You can perhaps doubt the implementation, and I think as a political class, one needs to support this move. But Ajoy, just hang in there, and I think there's some very valid points that he's raising. And Bhupendra Yadav, I must ask you that question. Do you believe at one level there is a degree of callousness when it comes to the hardships that were going to come in with something like this, and perhaps they were ignored a little bit? If this was in the making for the last 6 odd months, as policymakers want us to believe, then the level of preparation does not come anywhere close to this, even though it had to be a very tight-lipped, a very secret exercise.
I tell you, one thing I clarify to you, that you are saying that Mr. Ajoy Kumar is raising a valid point. Definitely you have right to take a conclusion, but I want to say very humbly that he was neither valid on the facts nor law and not the rules of the parliament. The reason is, the fact is that the notice was given by the Congress party, and in the rarest of the rare case, the question hour is suspended. That is a rule 267 in Rajya Sabha. Even the government agreed that yes, we are ready to suspend the question hour, we are ready to suspend the other business of the house, and they started the debate. Then what is the reason why they are not putting all these issues before the floor of the parliament? Second thing, whenever the debate was conducted in parliament regarding with any ministry, it was always it will be always replied by the ministry. So finance minister is ready. Then what is why Congress is not participating in the debate? Number third thing, what are saying by the Ajoy Kumar, I am very humbly says that he is not correct. The government, yes, it is fact that the government is replacing the 86% of money. Yes, it is fact. But government is doing by their own mechanism. And initially the Prime Minister already spoke to the country and assured them that all situation will be normalized within 50 days. So today we are in the 15 or 16 days, things are becoming normalized. As per in the other sector of the country, now things become a normal. But let us, why they are not debating this thing in the parliament? Why they are not allowed the other parties to participate in the debate? My friend Rajeev is here. When he will also speak in the parliament. But why Congress party is not allowed to parliament to function? First they reply for that.
Okay, they have to reply for that, but I'm going to break this debate into three parts. We're going to talk about the impact on growth. We're going to talk about the positive impact this can have on the whole taxation structure. But before that, I do want to talk about the point that some commentators out there are raising. And Rajeev Chandrashekhar, the question is really coming your way. A lot of people fear that the whole demonetization exercise, the way it's been done, is going to unleash the state on its citizen in the name of positive virtues. Do you fear that? Do you fear there is going to be this overarching state, a taxman at every door, even though we may not have the numbers there?
No, before that, Supriya, I just want to just say something to Ajoy. Just in passing, I won't take too much time on this. I think the facts that Ajoy say that he uses to justify disruption were known on the first day of Parliament when the Congress initiated the debate and commenced the debate. There was nothing new that happened 24 hours later for them to justify a disruption. I just want to put that out there for him to understand. Everything that was known on the first day, and the Congress initiated a motion, commenced a debate. The right thing to do would have been, let the debate complete. The finance minister, if he had given an unsatisfactory response, the opposition then could have asked for the Prime Minister to come and explain. That would have been the right thing to do. Having said that, let me answer your question, Supriya. I think we must understand this is not a trivial thing that we are embarking on. We are embarking on a transformation of the economy vis-a-vis the black aspect of it. We know that it is linked to political corruption. We know it is linked to, we've seen 10 years of corporate malfeasance. We know it's linked to terrorism and criminal enterprise in this country. Now, that will require the state to intervene. That will require the state to be deploying its agencies, because this is not something about when we talk about morality and the heart of democracy, some amount of intrusive aspects of the state will be on display. But the Prime Minister has made clear earlier that the relationship between the government and the citizen is one of trust, and the large number of citizens are people who are law-abiding. Of course, there are elements in our economy, you know it, I know it, both my colleagues on TV know it, that there are elements who have gamed the system, have been gaming the tax laws, have been doing illegal enterprise, and the state has an obligation and role to law-abiding citizens to go after them. And that is what will be on display and what that will be demonstrated in the coming months.
Indeed, Ajoy Kumar, just to be the devil's advocate, I buy your point that 86% of the currency is obviously going to be replaced, and which is why we are seeing short-term pain. But to be the devil's advocate, you must point out also here that anything on digital or any move towards a digital economy is also going to clean up the system. And as a political class, I think the moral obligation lies on our politicians to support a move like this. Holding Parliament hostage is perhaps not the best or the most popular thing to do on this. But my larger question to you is that does the Congress party not support the whole exercise, at least in the spirit or with the intention it has been done? We are going to move towards a more digital economy. There will be less cash. Yes, cash is the lubricant of an Indian economy. We are not denying that. And I think some part of the discussion, at least in the public space, seems to be painting cash as a devil, which it isn't. But my larger point is that won't a move to a digital, cashless, less cash economy be a move towards a cleaner India?
Look, first of all, let me address Bhupendra ji's question on Prime Minister not answering that. Manmohan Singh ji answered during the 15th Lok Sabha, the 14th Lok Sabha, drought situation in Maharashtra. He was not the rural development minister, nor was he the agriculture minister. The issues in Northeast, he was not the home minister. So this is again a specious argument to say that the Prime Minister will not come. I mean, when I was in the previous Lok Sabha, the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, the BJP made it a continuous issue to demand him on every issue. And suddenly to BJP to suddenly play, the cry foul is very interesting. As far as the delay in the art of obstructing Parliament, I just want to tell Rajeev is, that Congress maybe you might find us guilty right now, but the master art of stalling any kind of legislation and procedures in the Parliament is by my erstwhile Bhupendra ji's party, by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now coming to those 3 points which he said, on black money, terrorism and corruption. On terrorism, in the past 60 years, it has been repeated government reports have said it is 0.002% is counterfeit. Now that includes terrorist money, includes counterfeit money, and it's not changed significantly. The joke is that the Kashmiri terrorists have got the 2,000 rupees, but the Indian citizens can't get it. They get the new 100 rupee notes, but you can't get it. So the impact on terrorism is actually very, 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 and being a ex-civil servant, at least I don't think that it holds much of water. It makes good debate, but it is not true at all. The second issue is on black money. 80% of the black money, by repeated reports, have said that it's overseas, under-invoicing, over-invoicing, round-tripping, which the BJP's favorite friends are very expert at it. So what have you gone? You have gone after the 20% so-called cash economy out of that 6%, and then you're making it as if it's a great fight for the black money. Actually, what you have done is, you have actually conveniently let the major black money holders escape it. As an example, one of their favorite industrialists from Gujarat has got a 45,000 crore under-invoicing case pending with the Enforcement Directorate. No progress on that. 45,000 crore, by the way, is not a small number. And the third issue is corruption. BJP has moved a change in the Civil Services Prevention of Corruption Act to not let a civil servant be inquired against. Forget charge sheet. Now you can't even inquire against it. And let the Prime Minister start with political funding. I believe there's cash which is floating into thousands of crores, which have, in terms of the BJP funding, I'm not sure, so I don't want to make a comment. It will benefit everybody, and I think Rajeev and Bhupendra ji will agree. No cash, everything on check. The question again is the main sources of corruption, whether it's the bureaucracy, whether it's the private sector which is under invoicing, over invoicing, whether it's the political funding of parties, and irrespective of all political parties. So no steps taken. But this is good drama. Now the question again is, look, Supriya, the cash, is it bad? Japan uses 20% of cash. Whether good or bad, this cashless economy is like talking about to a railway Kanpur accident, saying we want to do the bullet train. We need to get our priorities in place first. Digital is fine, it is nice to speak about it. But by the way, does digital reduce corruption? US economy is reasonably digital by all means. Their report says that the Internal Revenue Service, that there are 32 lakh crores, which was tax evasion through multinational corporations, through, various, what you call tax havens across the world. So I think we are confusing two issues, whether cash and the demonification of cash. And by the way, people are not, I'll finish off with a the 15 lakh crore is a huge impact in your turnover because the 15 lakh crore turns over 2-3 times in a year. Now, what is that impact to this country?
Right.
And I really want to pray to the BJP that I hope they get their act in place, because it will lead to finishing off with unbelievable distress in economy. Please fix it. And we are against it because the way they did it.
Right.
And last, 2,000 rupee note. I don't get that. Just let them explain why 2,000 then. To make it that after December movement of money is easier for the BJP. Is that what they're trying to say? That is what is upsetting.
Right. Ajay, just hold your thoughts there, because Rajeev, I want to take this to you, and I think that's a larger point that he's raising. We need to spend some time on this, both with you and Bhupendra there. But Rajeev, to begin with you, this does address the cash stack, and I think that's just petty cash that was stacked with people all across India. But what about the black money in circulation, the black money that's parked in real estate, in gold, round tripping? What has to look at black money crackdown just beyond demonetization? Do I stand corrected?
No, so I just wanted to make this point, and Mr. Chidambaram has been making similar points that Ajoy is making on television and in the newspapers, and I wrote a piece rebutting it yesterday. Look, I think this attempt by the Congress to say that demonetization is irrelevant in the battle against black money, we will just have to leave it as their belief that doing nothing with black money is better than doing something. So I have no cause to join a debate with people who believe that demonetization and addressing the black money is not necessary. So let me just say this in addition to that. Cash is the fuel for the black economy. It is cash that allows illegal gains to be converted into land or bullion. Cash is the catalyst for the entire black economy. Just like Ajoy said, cash has a cascading fractional reserve impact in the formal economy. It has the same in the black economy. That is why it is absolutely critical that the cash economy, the black cash economy, is compressed and reduced and if possible made zero. Now that is a belief that this government has. It is quite possible that Mr. Chidambaram and the Congress governments of the past believe that doing nothing and allowing the black economy to be part of the overall cash economy is good. But that is their belief and they are entitled to it. This government believes in a different approach, and I happen to believe that this approach, that is taking a view, a hard-nosed view, to compressing the black cash economy is fundamental to addressing the black economy. This is what I believe in, and this is what this government believes in, and I tend to support that view.
Indeed, but I want to close this debate with something that the consumer should be looking out for. And reports and economists have suggested this. And Bhupendra Yadav, if I may bring this to you, a lot of people believe that with the kind of money that is going to be generated out of this and the kind of revolutions that will be made, the tax base of India will be widened. A widened tax base will essentially mean that the tax rates could go down. Do you see that as a possibility? Is the BJP thinking on those lines? Is the government open to lower tax rates with a drive like this?
Even it was admitted by the Congress also, there is an unaccounted money, and the unaccounted money is the out of the tax regime of this country. And you know, in 2007 the Congress brought the cash transaction tax, CTT. Then they back out from that. So there is this, now 86% money is there, which is under 500 and 1000 rupees. But my question is, what is the distribution of this money amongst the people? Where it is stored? Where this cash is stored unaccounted and out of the tax purview of the government? let it will be come in the banks. Government says that you will change your notes, you will deposit your money in your accounts. So why people afraid? Why corrupt people were afraid? Why they are raising so many other types of arguments? What we heard so many arguments like argument raised by Shri Ajay ji. Ajay ji is representing the party here, but why there is an argument? Why the Congress party not persuade the person or ask them, if you have a money, you deposit in the bank? What is the difficulty? Because there are so many corrupt people who are having a money which is unaccounted money, and I think those person, if you are very much right that it is a moral obligation of every political party to insist and to ask the person, if you have money, you deposit in the bank. What is the problem?
Ajoy, you want to come in there? I saw a finger raised by you.
Supriya, first of all, Rajiv's facts I need to correct is that during the UPA 2, 1,31,000 crore of black money was unearthed. The present government in its 2.5 years has done 1,21,000 crores. Those are facts by the Ministry of Finance. So then, in fact, are we against black money? Yes. But the question again is, if the patient has got a heart attack and a brain tumor, you don't go about bandaging his toe which is slightly injured. Most of the black money is in shares of the companies. We suddenly believe that the cash actually by all income tax rates, Supriya, is being less than 6%. So the question again is, to get that less than 6% of the total of the 20% of the cash economy, which is, it comes to less than 2%, are you penalizing 98%? Secondly, Bhupenji is a wise man and Rajiv is also a wise person. But the fact is that we are saying that, have you realized first of all, why did you do such a shoddy job? Is that a wrong question? Why did you introduce 2,000 rupees if you wanted to demonetize? And the second issue is, did you check all the boxes to see the economic impact? And the 500 and 1,000 rupees, all of us pay our drivers and the people who work at our homes and everything else in 500 and 1,000 rupees. You tell me now, the common guy, who's standing on the line to convert his money? The common guy, the poor guy, the laborer, because he's got 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. And they say that they don't have the notes. Now, this is the level of preparation. So, my question against Supriya is, if the senior people in the government
Ajay ji, you yourself,
and now this is the
even earlier
issue.
your government said,
Bhupenji sir, I will complete, sir. Bhupenji,
yes.
I'll complete, sir. By bol dijiye, sir, after you. You please finish.
Sure.
Please, sir. Okay, sorry. So thanks, Bhupenji. I'm saying they're all very respectable people on this panel, and I really take a lot of pay a lot of attention to what they say. What I'm trying to say is, the major issue of black money is civil servants, industrialists, major 80% of the black money, and Rajiv will agree with me, the businessman, the politician, and the bureaucrats. The common guy on the road, the small shopkeeper, the gold shop man saving 2 lakh tax, 3 lakh tax, that's fine. I mean, we accept there is there. And in their last VDI, that last drive they did, they only targeted the poor people. If you notice, the government was failing in its voluntary disclosure scheme. And then suddenly, around 63,000 people, less than 1 crore made declaration. So they went after them, fine. More power to them. What I'm saying is, if you ignore the major sources, and you continue to say that we are fighting against black money, it's a wrong packaging. Please bring electoral reforms. I think everybody in this country needs it. Various political parties will have different perspective. The civil services has to become more accountable, that they're trying to dilute the Corruption Act. And the most important part is the round tripping. And I'll tell you where they can start if Bhupenji and Rajiv ji agrees. There's 17,000 lakh crore of exports which have happened in this country, approximately by the data. 17,000 lakh crores over 20-30 years period. See who has not remitted their money back. You will get huge amount of, because if you have exported, those money has to come back. If the government is sincere, and I'll really request those two very important gentlemen to at least start from there. And you will see that who are the guys who are not getting their money back. That's an interesting place to start from.
Right. I'll have to end this discussion, but Rajiv, I will let you have the last word on this. And just to make it a little crisp here, I'll urge you to be brief. I know the shock therapy was perhaps required for the parallel black money economy, but is it in disproportionate terms to the level of the problem? And do you believe the growth concerns that are now coming to fore are perhaps just very immediate, very short term, and in the long term, they will be taken care of?
Supriya, I'll make this very brief. I think everybody in hindsight can become an expert and talk about this could have been done better, that could have been done better. But we must understand there were requirements of secrecy, there were requirements that, all those kinds of requirements really gave the government a narrow operating band in which to plan this and execute this. And I think they've done the best that they can. I have no brief for the government, but I say it as I see it. In terms of the economy, I think it's a fair assessment that this will impact in the short term the consumption side of our economy and the consumer finance aspects of the markets and the economy. Those are the two sections that were doing relatively well coming into this quarter, and I suspect that for a quarter or a quarter and a half there will be some dampening in consumer demand, and there will be consequent dampening in consumer supply, consumer product supply. But beyond that, if you start looking beyond that, we are really creating a platform for sustainable high growth and an economy that will be clean and not volatile and up and down. This is what I believe. This is my personal view, and I say it with a lot of conviction and belief.
All right, we've got two parliamentarians from the Rajya Sabha. That's where the logjam is happening, and Ajoy Kumar joining us. Thank you very much, each one of you, for being with us. We do hope that the consensus does emerge and there will be some sort of a solution. The Prime Minister expected to intervene in the discussions tomorrow in the Rajya Sabha. We do hope that the opposition and the Treasury benches can see eye to eye on this one. It was a clean-up drive that was required. We can still continue to debate the way it's being done. But thank you, Rajeev Chandrashekhar, Bhupendra Yadav and Ajoy Kumar, for joining us right here on ET Now. News and updates continue. That exclusive interaction is coming up with Narayan Murthy. Stay right here with us.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.